Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Rossi. Today we're going to make a primary and secondary colored ice pop. Let's get started. What you will be needing today is a paper towel or toilet paper tube. If you have a paper towel tube, you're going to want to cut it in half so it's not as long. You're going to need something to color with. I'm going to use some markers today, but you can use paints to color your toilet paper tube also. You're going to need a scissor, a popsicle stick, a pencil, and some tape. So the first thing that we're going to do to make our primary and secondary colored ice pop is we're going to take our toilet paper tube and we're going to squish it in half. So I'm just pressing down on both sides with my hands to make it a little more flat. Once it's like that, I'm going to grab my pencil and I'm going to draw a frown line across the top of my toilet paper tube and make that nice and dark with my pencil so it's easy to see. I want my frown line going from one edge all the way to the other edge, and then we're going to cut it out while our toilet paper tube is still folded along that line. This is going to make our ice pop nice and round at the top instead of having those square edges. You might need someone older to help you to cut your toilet paper tube if it's too hard with your scissors. Once you have yours cut out, we're going to grab our popsicle stick. And our popsicle stick is going to go on the other side along the bottom. You can decide how tall you want your stick or how short you want it. I think that looks like a good size for me. I'm going to grab some tape and I am just going to tape my popsicle stick right on my tube by pressing down with the tape and bringing it up towards the top. I can wrap those edges around my stick a little bit to hide them, and I'm going to flip it over because my popsicle stick's flopping all over the place. I'm going to pinch it down, grab another piece of tape, and tape it down on the other side too to make sure it's really secure on my tube so when I shake it, it doesn't really wiggle. So I tape down both sides. Once both sides are taped down, we can start to add our decorations on our popsicle stick. With my pencil, I'm just going to draw some straight lines to separate my popsicle into 3 different sections, and I'm going to do that on both sides. So I'm just doing straight lines connecting one side of my tube to the other. And now inside these sections is where we're going to add our primary and our secondary colors. So one side of my toilet paper tube is going to be primary colors, the other side is going to be secondary colors. If you remember, our primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. So I'm going to color each section red, yellow, and blue on this side. I'm going to follow that line I drew with my pencil, with my marker, and then I'm just going to color in the top of my tube. I want to make sure I cover all of that space so the whole top is nice and red. That looks good. Now I'm going to go on to my next section, which is going to be yellow. So I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to trace right across where my pencil line was and then fill in this space yellow. Now my yellow marker is not really showing up very well on my toilet paper tube, but that is okay. We know it's yellow. And then my last primary color is blue. I'm going to use a nice dark blue at the bottom and just fill in that last space going all the way to the edge of my tube and coming up to meet my yellow. And my primary colored side of my ice pop is all done. If you want to add any sprinkles or other decorations, you can always go on top of your colors and add little decorations too, but I'm going to flip mine over to the other side and do my secondary colors, which are orange, green, and purple. And our primary colors, if you remember, mix together to make our secondary colors. So in order to get orange, you have to mix together red and yellow. In order to get green, you need to mix together yellow and blue. And to get purple, you have to mix together blue and red. I'm going to color in my next section with our next secondary color of green. If you have something like masking tape, it works a little bit better than Scotch tape because you can color on top of it. You can color on top of your Scotch tape or your clear tape also. It's just going to need a little bit longer to dry. So I wouldn't want to touch this spot where it's all green for a little bit so I can give it a chance to dry on that tape. Otherwise it's going to come off on my fingers. And my last secondary color is purple. So I'm just going to fill in that last section with my purple marker. And there we go, my secondary colored side is finished. You can go along your edges with whichever colors you would like and just color those in so we don't have those little gaps on the sides too. I think I'll use my secondary colors to fill those sides in. Being careful not to bring that color too far over to our primary colored side, but just to fill that space in so we don't still see the tube there. And if you want, you can even color in your popsicle stick for your ice pop, but it's up to you. I'm going to leave mine the way that it is for now. I like the way that it looks. I have my primary colored side with my red, yellow, and blue, and my secondary colored side with my purple, orange, and green to make my primary and secondary colored ice pop. When you're finished, if you want to share yours with me, you can always take a picture holding it like a real ice pop and share it with me through email or Google Doc. I'd love to see what you're creating at home. Try your best, have fun, and get creative. Bye!